Ariana Grande.
Hey everybody, it is Tedley here, and this week we watched Trump the Rusical on Rupaul's Drag Race Season 11. Alright everybody, so here I am looking super scruffy and bearlicious just for you here on this week's episode. And so anyways, this week it was the annual Rusical episode where they had to either sing live or they had to do some elaborate dance routine on the stage. I'll just be honest with you guys, this episode each year is probably my least favorite because it's not like you can really tell who's failing, who's succeeding, who's doing good. They can't put in the shade button all the time on this, and so it's just kind of like, unless someone super messes up, it's just like across the board, like, are we just waiting for the runway, or like, are we just waiting like for them to say who fell behind the scenes? Like, so this always kind of just is a jumbled mess for me, so I don't even know if I'm going to talk about the challenge itself so much as I am going to just everything else about the episode. But I will say it was a very entertaining bit, but like it was just like, it was like the apocalypse, like a whole bunch of crazy shit happened and then I don't even remember, and then just the dust landed, and then just the people who rose to the top, the people who fell to the bottom sank to the bottom. And then there was just like a jumble of who's in between, who seemed to actually be pretty good. So I'm gonna go on and on this episode, you know, and I'm gonna say like I'm not even gonna cover that much, and then this is gonna be like a 10-minute episode as usual. So we'll see what happens. When I heard about this episode, I have to say I was super excited about the judging panel this week for so many reasons. And I'm about to break this down for you guys because this is meta as fuck. So, firstly, let's start with New York. Tiffany New York Pollard. Okay, so she was New York on Flavor of Love back in the day on VH1 when she got spit on by Pumpkin. So that was a huge reality TV history moment that if y'all young kids don't remember it, go look up the DVD or something, go Amazon it, because that was a legendary reality show. But it took place on VH1. I guess I really have to admit that it's super exciting because like when I was much younger, I was super obsessed with I Love New York, I Love Money, Rock of Love, all the VH1 celeb reality shows. And so then it got canceled exactly the same year that Drag Race started, and so then I started watching that series, all because I love the campy atmosphere that VH1 created with their Love celeb reality series. And so the fact that this clashing of worlds of Drag Race being on VH1, New York coming back, and so then on top of that, who else was on the judges panel but Joel McHale? So also, if y'all kids don't know, there used to be a show on E called The Soup, and it took all the best pop culture and reality TV show clips, put it all together, hosted by Joel McHale last, and multiple other comedians before him. But so he would constantly talk about Drag Race on the show, and they even had the drag queens from Drag Race on The Soup. And so then it's super meta, the fact that Joel McHale, who was the pop culture expert, talked about New York, talked about RuPaul on Drag Race, talked about all these shows. They're all together in one room. And so like just the fact that all these huge celebrities that like were like my millennial favorites, oh my god, this judging panel could not get any better. So I'm super excited about that. Another thing that I really want to point out about this episode, so on a real note, it was actually kind of a genius moment of Silky, who my opinion is changing of her, so just whatever. But anyways, so Silky had this genius moment to share to the nation on TV that she registered as Republican because it's going to throw off the gerrymandering that the Republicans did to win the election, because as y'all know, Hillary Clinton had 3 million more votes for her, but since it wasn't about the popular vote, because of the gerrymandering in the US, she was stopped from being the rightful president because there was just more like votes in the right places for Republicans. And so by registering as Republican to throw off the system is a genius move, which, I mean, if they're gonna play dirty, we have to play dirty too. We're the smarter ones. And so Silky broadcasting this idea on national TV, genius. Like, I'm super excited, and you know what? I might kind of back this idea. I might try this myself, so we'll see. I don't know yet, you know. I don't want to get too close to the fire, but we'll see what happens. And if anybody else tries it or does it, let me know in the comments. And maybe I'll talk about that idea again, because that was actually really important. That's probably one of the most important things I've seen on Drag Race, so whew. But so then the runways this week were pretty beautiful. They were orange. The ones that stuck out to me was definitely Brooklyn Heights, Mercedes Iman Diamond, Miss Vanjie. But so those were some of my favorites, except then, so now my hometown hero, Mercedes Iman Diamond, she was in the bottom once again. She didn't stand out, unfortunately. But so, you know what though, I do have to say, she's my Minneapolis hero. You know, I love people who represent Minneapolis, Minnesota. But so she basically kind of flubbed it. And then, you know, they was doing the lip sync, and I feel like Rasha was there giving like the full show. And Mercedes, she looked the most beautiful she ever did on the show. So she had a great, fantastic exit. Except she kind of looked like the pedestrian up there. She kind of looked like the drunk girl that got on stage during the drag show that needs to be pulled off before, you know, before the security can get to her. So I was super disappointed of how she like ended up presenting on the runway. But you know what? She left with a beautiful exit. I felt like she left feeling like her story was whole, and she got a whole bunch of footage too, like, and she didn't even know it. But like she left kind of like feeling good. She talked about her religion. She left feeling like, I mean, she left with her, I'm not gonna try it, whatever, but she like left and it was beautiful, and she filled up the room with that energy at the end. And then, oh my god, in the Untucked, when she was leaving the backstage for the very last time, she finally lets her guard down and shows this beautiful personality. It's like, oh bitch, if you were doing that this whole time, you would have been in this still. But isn't that the nature of the game though? As soon as you're comfortable again and you're not competing, you're gonna relax and just be amazing. But so, you know what, that also happened to Morgan McMichaels back in the day. You know, she only had one good moment, and that's when she got eliminated if you rewatch her episode. But so, my dear favorite Minneapolis hometown hero, Mercedes Iman Diamond, has gone home. But you know what, also, another thing that I can't be mad about is when Rupaul, ooh, she gave her a beautiful ending when she said diamonds are forever. I'm okay with that. You know what? She had a beautiful exit. She, just due to her personality being a little more on the Minnesota nice side, she wasn't gonna stand out amazing. It seems like they softened her exit, and it was very beautiful because us Minnesota people are very sensitive, so we needed to see Miss Mercedes be sent off graciously like a hero that she is. And you know what? She's here to show that not every Muslim woman is a terrorist. But so that's it, y'all. That was my episode this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Who are you guys rooting for? You know what? And you know who I want to see as a guest judge? Ariana Grande.